An Eastern Cape community has scored a big win after a decision by the High Court in Mthatha. A local community has convinced the court to compel the local municipality to build and complete an access road. The road will join the Nogqala village and the Ngcobo and Ugie towns. Now, community members have been waiting for the bridge for years. Construction began in 2021, but there is still no progress. For more on this story, I'm now joined by Professor Zwelzima Ndevu, the director of the School of Public Leadership at Stellenbosch University. Prof, thank you so much for your time and for being with us this evening. Now, why would this be considered a landmark ruling as a decision that was made by the Mthatha Court in compelling the municipality to build that access road for the community? And what implications does this have for local governance?
Thank you for having me, and good afternoon to your listeners as well. I think this has serious implications for local government. It would mean that local government is compelled to ensure that it provides basic services to communities. It enables communities to connect with other spaces, including being given, in this instance, access to road infrastructure. This talks to a basic right of movement. Government creating an enabling environment for communities to be able to move. And that the court's decision reaffirms that fundamental right for this community to ensure that their government, which is closest to the people, is able to ensure that that right is realized without prejudice.
Now, Prof, like we mentioned earlier, this construction of this bridge started in 2021, and not much is there to show for this bridge, and nearly already 10 million rands has been spent on this project. And the Mthatha Court threw cold water over the argument of the municipality that it had budget constraints. Are we seeing more of this with regards to municipalities not completing work where it would claim that there are budget constraints?
It is correct. I think what this court has indicated is that for any institution of government, especially institutions like local government, would have to prove that they use resources at their disposal responsibly and for the benefit of the community. We would remember that government has adopted some of the principles, and one of them is called the Batupele principles. In the Batupele principles, there is a right, or it talks about value for money. And in this sense, it would seem that there was no value for money. And therefore, the municipality's institution should be held liable for that and ensuring that that service is brought to the community. And it's unfortunate that 10 million rand is spent and there's still no road access.
In your view, what role does effective leadership play in community advocacy and engagement, especially in cases like this one?
This decision has affirmed the fact that communities can actually go to courts to ensure that they compel public institutions to deliver on services when those public institutions are not doing that. So we would need an active community, and a community that knows its right, a community that has the understanding of what are the channels that they need to follow in order for them to follow that. I think that would need a community leadership that is responsible, a community leadership that is leading selflessly, a community leadership that has interest of that community that they lead. And if you have that, then you are likely to succeed, like we've seen in this. This, we must remember, this is a rural community that was able to challenge government with limited resources, but we can see the results would have an impact even in urban areas, or would have far-reaching implications for government generally and local government in particular.
And I think this really does speak to active citizenry, because a lot of people believe that just by making their mark at the ballot paper, that's as far as it goes with regards to being active as a person. But I mean, with this particular case, the court has ordered the municipality to provide a progress report within the next 180 days. What lessons do you think that we can learn about active citizenry and that other communities can learn from this case regarding civic engagement and just the importance of holding governments accountable?
This definitely reaffirms the role of communities as people that should ensure that services are delivered within communities, but it also says that the role of citizens does not only end in the voting, but is ensuring that they assist government, partner with government, but most importantly, hold government accountable where there is lack of accountability, where there is lack of delivery, where there are suspicions of unethical behavior. And if they don't get the response that they want or get the information directly from the official, they can compel them through court to give them the information or compel them through court to deliver services, which in the main would indicate that citizenship is at the heart of service delivery.
Certainly. How does this reflect the state of the judicial system in our country regarding community rights and access to essential services?
It really affirms the fact that our judiciary is independent. It really affirms that our judiciary is there to ensure that rights that would ordinarily be triumphed by institutions are protected. It is there to ensure that citizens feels that justice is done, and we see in this community there is a feeling of justice, and also there is not just a feeling of justice, but there is something that's going to be done about the injustice that has happened for over a long time by ensuring that a particular municipality delivers within a particular period, and it gives constant feedback on the progress on the delivery. So this would, in a way, say restoring dignity of that community.
So, Prof, I mean, earlier you mentioned the implications on local governance. What impact do you think this ruling will have on just municipal policies and practices regarding infrastructure development, especially in those rural areas that you're mentioning, like this one, that are underserved communities?
The president in his State of the Nation acknowledged that there are serious challenges in local government, and he gave some recommendations of what they think of doing. But I think this court has went a step further and said if there are issues with local government which has to do with service delivery, that is something that has lack of accountability within local government. They are not going to wait for an intervention for another sphere of government, but that government must be held accountable. And this is what we see. We are seeing a decision that is taken by court that would compel other municipalities to ensure that they also deliver services in their areas.
Well, we certainly are looking forward to that progress report that the municipality has compiled, or rather the court has compiled the municipality to give to those people within the next 180 days. Thank you so much for your inputs and your insights.